everyone, my name is Jake Leguee and I'm a farmer from Saskatchewan, Canada. You're joining me tonight in my air drill. We're seeding. So I'm going to give you a little look here at what I'm up to. So it's 10 o'clock at night and I'm seeding canola. There's my unit right there. Now I don't get to run a drill very often, I'm usually in a sprayer. So I thought I would take advantage of the opportunity to show you guys what it looks like from the cab of a 620 horsepower John Deere tractor running on rubber tracks, pulling an 80-foot wide Seedmaster drill. We just loaded up, so we've got about 1,500 pounds of canola and about 18,000 pounds of phosphate fertilizer. And we've got liquid fertilizer for the nitrogen. So that's what we're up to right now. The conditions are a little wet. That's part of the reason that we're going a little bit later. We're going around a lot of stuff. There's lots of potholes and lots of things to go around. So really got to keep an eye out. I got to make sure that as I'm doing this, I don't drive into something that'll get me into trouble, because I don't want to have to call somebody to come pull me out. As you can imagine, this thing is it's a lot to pull, especially when it's all loaded up. And if it starts to go down, well, I'll need a pull. So kind of how this drill works, the big tank that you see up front is where the seed goes, and it runs directly to one of the two knives on each shank. I don't know if you can see them there. So this thing's 80 feet wide and there's a foot between each shank. So that's what we call 12-inch spacing. So that means there's 80 shanks on this drill. Each shank has two knives. One knife does fertilizer, one knife does seed. Why can't we put them both down the same one? Well, fertilizer has something that's, it's quite salt. It's quite high in salt, so it can actually damage the seedlings. And they won't come up if the fertilizer is too close. It's just a little bit too concentrated. So we got to separate them out a little bit so the fertilizer can disperse in the soil and the seeds can take them up when they're ready to. So we're just coming up to the headland here. So this is where we're going to be turning. You can see where the pass ends there. Pretty nice on some of this newer equipment. It's pretty easy to make the turn. The openers are already lifting for me. They did that all by themselves. And now I just got to turn. It's a big unit to get turned around. It's long. Now that we're turning, you can see the other two carts that I'm pulling behind, the big one in the back, in the front there. You can see our liquid fertilizer and our dry fertilizer tank. Now we can watch the GPS. I just turned on the auto steer, so we're auto steering. I'm not holding the steering wheel anymore. And now the drill just puts the shanks in the ground when it feels that it needs to. There's an on-off time that we enter to tell it when to put the shanks in the ground, and turn on the seed rollers to make sure that we don't have any gaps, but we also don't want to waste anything either. So this drill has 10 sections on it. It's 80 feet wide, so 8-foot sections. And each section turns on to minimize overlap, but make sure that we don't have any misses. It's really important to get that right. So there's a lot going on in these drills. The hose is draped all over top. Those are seed fertilizer. So like I said, seed goes to one, fertilizer goes to the other. So that's why there's a lot of different hoses. This monitor here is for the drill. So you can see us going up and down the field. On the left-hand side, you can see our product weights and the pressure that we have on for the openers. That's our fertilizer, and these are seed tanks. We're not using all the tanks right now. With canola, it's a small seed, so we don't need everything. At the top there is our fan speeds. It's fans that create air pressure that push the seeds down those hoses to the shanks. And then up here is my blockage monitor. So I've got 80 shanks, so there isn't quite 80 runs on here. It's only every second or third run. But if a run plugs, the one beside it will get overfilled. And you can see I've got an orange one there, so it's not plugged, but it's running a little light. So I'm gonna have to get out and check that and see what's going on. I don't want to have a plugged run. And then this monitor is the tractor. Hydraulics engaged, I have cameras on the back to keep track of everything. And this is where my auto steer is coming from. So we're not going too fast, we're going about 4.7 miles an hour. Slow and steady wins the race with seeding. We have to get the job done right. The other drill just rolled into the yard. My dad just finished up the durum, so nice to have that crop finished, and we'll start on the yellow peas. And I'll be running this one until the field is done, and then in the morning my sister will take over, and my brother-in-law will take over for her later on. So we double shift the drills and try and get as many hours as we can. So wish us luck for the rest of seeding. Thanks for listening.